they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider Seals to Sam comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park, and Hayden King will find the winners for the weekend's racing.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more, and the West Australian champion has done it again.
Yes, hello and welcome to Talking Trots, and what a big week it's been. It was the WA Pacing Cup on Italian night, a big crowd, and wasn't there drama on the track? We'll talk about it a little bit later on.
Plenty of fireworks, Michael.
There was, Morts.
And they were after the event.
There was fireworks on and off the track. We'll dissect it a little bit later on. Morts was fired up last week. I'll let him off the leash tonight and see what he comes up with. But we got a big show. The 4-year-old championship is this week, $50,000. We've got some breaking news on the show as well. We'll get to it in just a moment with our special guest, Michael George, in just a moment. But a big hello to Glen Mortimer. Morts, you were there. You're part of the race. But tell you what, there was fireworks in the off the track. There was fireworks in the steward's room.
Certainly was.
We'll discuss it a little bit later on, though. But it was drama-packed.
Look, it was. And good evening, Michael. It's great to be back for another big edition of Talking Trots. It was like a marathon last week, but it was a really good show. Enjoyed it. Even night at Gloucester Park last Friday night with Bomber. -1 unit, but he did get the multi, which paid around about $3.20-ish to stretch the neck out in front. Hayden had something small and a couple of value bets with no joy but no damage done. It was a great night of racing at Gloucester Park last Friday night. Hotly pursued, steadied once it got to the front, and an easy win for your man Kyle Harper. Really bold drive by Kyle Symington on Hillview Bondi. Just kept pushing forward to take the lead in a fast lead time of 35.7. Still kept going and won in 1:55.2. That was a great drive.
And tipped by Brittany Graham on track as well.
Great drive.
Hopefully a few punters followed her in.
Really good drive, and then hopefully they followed the winning form of El Chema. Great drive again by Emily Savelko. Didn't panic, got a nice cart in when Sugar Street took off. Got a nice cart in.
Didn't it go quick?
It did, and got into the race down the back before getting up on the line to score. Beat the old man too. Shannon was on the thing in front. The first and second emergencies have a great record in consolation races, and there was no exception last Friday night. Galactic Star ground out a strong win over Patronus Star. Beyond the Sea caused a bit of an upset, beating the wonderful mare to complete a great double for Murray Lindor and Kyle Harper. Great double. Strong win. Hoppy's Way did all the work to land the cash, and another winner for the Reed Savelko combination with Flying Rumour. Dad holding on to beat daughter that time. Lasaka won as we thought he would, and Exceptional Armour rounded out the night with a leisurely win. Looking at the stats, Michael, Gloucester Park Friday night, double for Murray Lindor, great effort, double for Mike Reed, and a double for Team Bond. Driving doubles to Kyle Harper and Shannon Savelko. Friday at Narrogin was a training double to Jocelyn Young and Sarah Savelko, and a driving treble to Madeline Young. Monday, Pinjarra, not much to report, just a driving double for Junior. Tuesday at Gloucester Park, driving double for Shannon, and absolutely nothing on Wednesday at Bunbury, Michael. Not anything.
Tough day.
It was. Very tough day.
It certainly was. All right. Now, we're starting to get into the big 4-year-old races, Morts, and this week is the Running Camel 4-year-old championship, which leads into the 4-year-old classic, and of course the Retrovision Golden Nugget.
Looking forward to that race, Michael. Should be a cracker
in the next couple of weeks. Now, one of the interesting runners was going to be Rubin's Plight, who comes over from Victoria after winning a semi-final of their 4-year-old Vic Bred and ran second in the final. Before we introduce the trainer, Michael George of Rubin's Plight, let's go back to the semi-final of the Vic Bred, where he beat the eventual winner of the Group 1 the next week, and here's Rubin's Plight running second, winning the semi-final of the Vic Bred.
And then came Major, and Rubin's Plight wide. Off the back, 29.8 third quarter. It's He's Charlie's Angel. Celestio Matuka's coming again, though. He's Charlie's Angel, Celestio Matuka, and now Rubin's Plight's joining in out wider. It's Rubin's Plight with a long sustained run, drawing alongside Celestio Matuka. Rubin's Plight takes over. Rubin's Plight goes on to win. Rubin's Plight scores second, Celestio Matuka.
Yeah, Rubin's Plight in Victoria for Maddie and Glenn Craven has since come to WA with to Michael George. Michael joins us on the program. Michael, welcome to Talking Trots.
G'day, boys. How are we? How are we, listeners?
Yeah, really good, mate. Thank you for coming on, but we've got some bad news. Unfortunately, you're going to scratch Rubin's Plight from tomorrow night.
Yeah. I just giving him his final workout today, and he just pulled up a bit lame on his off 4, so it looks like he's got an abscess coming through, unfortunately. But hopefully we can get on top of that. Yeah, listening to his replay there just had me a bit excited. But unfortunately we got to put the gun back in the holster for tomorrow night. His owner sent him over here pretty much for these 4 lead-up races, with obviously the last 2. Including the Nugget, in mind. His first start here, our hands are tied from his draw, and the way the race was run, and the quick quarter that wheel made, and we got our wheel clobbered at the bell. So a few things didn't go our way there, and a few things obviously hasn't gone our way for tomorrow night, which is a little bit disappointing and a bit bit devastating in a way, because he's quite a nice horse. Everything he's sort of shown me and given to me and to deal with, he's been fantastic. He worked the place down Tuesday, and I was pretty excited to head forward into Friday night. These things come up with horses. It was a tough call to the owner to tell him we're pulling him out, but obviously he's got bigger fish to fry if things look all right for that foot, which I'm sure they will be, and that's our main aim moving forward. So we'll sort of have to lose the battle to win the war.
So you just before I let Morgs out, so you're hopeful you can get on top of it pretty quickly if it's an abscess, and he'll be right in 2 weeks' time for the classic, and then obviously the Retrovision Golden Nugget 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, that's definitely a plan. The way he is at the minute, he's showing signs towards that being an abscess. So hopefully that's a quick fix. We've obviously seen Wonderful to Fly go down with that recently, and we're sort of in the same environment out here, and some can come out straight away. Luckily, others can take a little bit of while. So I'll be trying my hardest, and support crew around us will be trying our hardest to get that out and get that comfy and get that happy and press on.
His last start at Pinjarra, as you said, the draw certainly didn't help. Watched him down the straight, just did what he had to do, really hit the line. I thought hit the line really nicely. Wasn't asked, wasn't put under a lot of pressure, just hit the line nicely. His previous start at Melton settled back and then 3 wide before he came 5 wide on the turn in 27 and 28.3 just to go down in that race. So he's certainly got some ability. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, we sort of, and having a new horse, to me, they do unfortunately teach you a lot along the way before you learn about them straight away. So we sent Stewie out with a plan of just to set him up and let him run down the straight and not kill him first up. And even though obviously every race we compete in, we try our absolute best, but on paper it looked like that was our best option. In the end, it wasn't. We probably should have started marching at the 800 and got up there eyeballing him and run home with him. And I think he would have run run a more forward race and finish a lot closer. But in every other sort of Pinjarra race, they don't go 29 down the back. It's just not what they do, and unfortunately it's what they did that day, and the track was a little bit leader bias, and obviously we saw it was a rails leader affair, and they've got home in 27.2, I think, on the clock, and he's lost no ground, and he's still making, steady ground, so I've got no idea what he's had to run 10 deep, but it sort of was let's have a look at him, let's see what we've got, and Stewie was happy with the way he felt, his sharpness and everything, but as I said, he's no superstar, so it was always going to be a full-on task to draw, to go from 12 unless something happened up front, we sort of took our medicine and we've worked forward, but unfortunately we've struck a hiccup.
Well, he has shown in the races that I've had a look at that a couple of times, coming down the straight, he's just continued to find the line and made up quite a considerable amount of ground over the last couple of hundred, like he did certainly in his last start. But then going back 6 starts ago at Ballarat, made a mid-race move there and eventually got to the front, had to work hard, but was just too strong in the end. So it looks like he's got a couple of strings to his bow there.
Yeah, and I think I can hopefully have which has so far been good, a close relationship with Chris, and moving forward I can understand the horse a little bit more as well. But it's very tricky coming into these races, not trying to work out a plan, because I think pretty much 10 of these horses out of 12, if they draw, they can nearly just about win Friday night. They're all a real even bunch, and when we're talking about giving horses head starts and all that kind of stuff like we've had to do, it's very tricky to do that, and it's going to be even trickier around Gloucester Park. But I've got no doubt once he'll compete for the Nugget, and he'll compete very well if we sort out his issue. And I think even if he leaves him here and moving forward, I think he'll make his way through the grade pretty comfortably, because as I said, we can sort of go in a lesser race as such, and he can start to do a little bit of breeze work, and he can start to make some moves, and I think he'll complement his racing pretty well, the more I understand the horse as well.
Yeah, like you said, it's a very even bunch of 4-year-olds, and if we look at Friday's field, you've got a favourite in there, you just change that barrier draw up, and the pricing would change dramatically, because depending on who gets the right draw in that particular race, can make a big difference to...
Well, Tab Touch is 330 the favourite for Luca, who was 50 to 1 the other day.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got Mouse's horse at 420, Street Hawk 550, Tricky Mickey $6, and you also find $4. And it's been hard to actually line up the 4-year-old form because they haven't been racing each other.
Yeah.
No, but you look at Al Capone, I think he was, from looking at the prices, he was 20 to 1 or 30 to 1, and 2 starts ago he runs second to Magnificent Storm in a Navy Cup.
That's right.
And then he goes out and runs third the other day in drawing in behind the leader, So it just goes to show that draws are crucial from the start. Obviously, it's just a starting point, but, comparing the market, you're dead right, even as you said, with a horse like Luca. Performed $51 last week and performed very, very well, and it was obviously a nice horse for Billy Hayes, and he comes out, second favourite Friday night, and he looks like if he leads, he'll give it a real shake. So, but you put him from barrier 9 and he goes to 50 to 1. You put Rubin's Plight in barrier 1 and he goes, he probably nearly goes to $2 favourite, and I think he deserves to be that if he did draw a barrier. But it is very crucial, and sort of, as I said, moving forward, we won't be leaving any stone unturned in the next couple of races that he competes in, that's for sure.
Well, we certainly hope you get him spot on and get him to the race, because it, like I said, looks like being a great battle for all the 4-year-olds. It'd be certainly good to have him there.
And it must have been nice to get him sent to you, Michael.
Oh, fantastic, yeah. I thought it was half a joke when they rang up. I thought Junior or someone like that was playing a bit of a joke when he's saying it. But no, he's obviously the association. He's Kimball's full brother, and Chris was happy with the work we did on Kimball and how he was performing here. So, and they're very similar horses. I think this guy's actually better than Kimball. I think he'll mature and he'll much better. Well, not much better horse. It's hard to knock Kimball and what he did, but I think this guy will be a better horse moving forward than him. And I'm just a little hobby trainer who pots around with a couple of horses. So when someone rings to offer you a horse, it's obviously a good scalp, and hopefully I can complement that with some good form. And I've enjoyed the challenge, and well, this is just part of part of the challenge that you've got to cop. You take your hat off to people like Senior and Bondi and all those top trainers who've been under these pressures most of their life with Group 1s, leading up to Group 1s and everything. And from what I've dealt with a lot of horses, everything always seems to go wrong the day before or the morning of. So you deal with that and you stride, you press on, and you can't sook and do that about it, because that gets you nowhere. So you try your best to complement what you've got to do and how you do it, and you move on, and hopefully, the world changes a little bit and things go your way.
Well, you've got a great strike rate this season of 20%, and that's been helped by horses like Faster Than Dad and Kimball. So whereabouts is Kimball now, Michael?
Kimball got sold to the States.
Right, okay.
So he left my care a couple of months ago now, so he's gone to the States, and we've got, obviously Faster Than Dad, who's been a fantastic little horse for us. Unfortunately, I said the word pacing cup for him. Ever since I said that, his form's gone bad. But he hasn't. I've made a pretty big trading error with him, which I'll cop. I'll put him in a paddock which I didn't realise was so lush recently, and I think he's got a bit big on me. But his runs haven't been disappointing. Well, a couple have, but considering he's had wide barrier draws and he's up in grade, it sort of it doesn't work when his form's looking so good going through the grades, and then you sort of give him a wide draw and much better company, So he'll run a good race tomorrow night. He'll follow him around and use his speed late, but I've definitely been a little bit, laxy-daisy with what I've done, putting him in that paddock and all that, which I'll kick myself for it. But, it's not the end of the world. He's been such a good horse, and I think he'll continue to go through and be a nice horse in that free-for-all rank. And he's probably due for a little break sooner or later. But he's so happy and healthy at the minute, and while we can race, we sort of chase him around and not kill him in his run. But his form, there is a reason why his form has dropped away. It's not, he's sound, everything like that. It's just, I need a bit of a kick in the bum for not sort of picking things up a bit sooner. But as I said, when you're a hobby trainer, you just sort of enjoy the moment with them and hope for good times stay. And if they don't, you sort of work it out. But you can get a little bit, as I said, laxy-daisy with training a little bit, as much as I try to be as professional as I can with my horses. These things do sneak up, and you're also dealing. I'm shift work at Alcoa, and I've got 2 young boys, so that's pretty much important as well, and so that everything comes together, and it does work most of the time, with Prue and that, and obviously the in-laws, we've got great support. Prue's mum and dad, obviously we flick the kids there a little bit when we need to sort of even do horses, and then we've got my parents up north a little bit that give us a hand as well. So it's a team and a family effort, and we always want to win, obviously, but sometimes little things do creep up and you're not expected for, and it happens.
Well, let's talk about the family. How is young Noah? Obviously, he's had this a battle against cancer and has done it so bravely and has been fairly well publicised. He's fought it out in the public as well. How's he going, and how's his brother Cruz?
Yeah, he's a bit like my idol Noah. You look at him and for what he's had to go through, so young. You get emotional talking about him, but he's received good news the other day that he hasn't got to have any more chemo, which is a big tick moving forward for us. And he hasn't got to have his medicines every night, and he can sort of branch out and do a few more things, and we can take him to a few more places. So it's been a long 2.5 years, and as I said, my wife Prue, she's been unreal. Sort of what they've had to go through in hospitals and all that. I sort of get it the easy way. If we got to go in hospital, it's sort of me. I've got to take care of the house and take care of Cruz, and obviously she's at the forefront with it all, and she's been amazing, obviously, through it all. And I've never been as proud as her or Noah or even Cruz as we are now. From what we've had to go through. But it's made us stronger people as well. You don't sort of realise how you come through these things until you sort of dealt with the position that you've been given, and we've never been stronger as a family, and Noah's, he's happy. We've moved into a new property in Pinjarra, which we've worked hard for, and they love it out here. There's so much for him to do, and Cruz is a very, very good boy. He's polite, he's well mannered, he's very caring, and he's very good at school. So moving forward for him, we couldn't be prouder of him and the way he looks after Noah as well. Obviously they fight, they're boys. They probably fight more than anything, but trying to separate them, there's no chance of separating them. They one minute they're sort of having a tussle on the trampoline and crying and telling they hate each other, but as soon as you sort of try and separate them, that's not happening. So, they've got that love-hate relationship in there. They are very good boys, and we couldn't be prouder of them, and we couldn't be proud of our family and the support the industry's given us through that time. It's a long year. It's a long time, 2.5 years, especially with a sick kid, but Noah's done so well. He's sort of given us confidence in moving forward with him and how he's handled it. And as I said, he's like Superman to us.
Right, it brings into perspective a horse just having to be scratched from a race, and you've got him for the next couple, as opposed to what yourself and Prue and Noah and Cruz have been through the last couple of years. Yeah, Scratching a horse isn't an issue.
No, it does, and it's sort of you do think about that, and even though as much as I'm bloody devastated about obviously scratching that horse tomorrow night, but you do sit back and you think, there are important things in life that you come across and that's probably why we deal with things so well like this at the minute, and there is, but as I said, I like to really take the professional side to my horses and they don't miss out. As I said, it's been to the stage where the kids haven't been able to go to a party or something like that because dad's got his horse in or something like that. So they're very important, but it's also handy to come up the house and see the boys. They're fantastic. They give us great fun and we're very proud of them.
Mate, that's fantastic news about Noah. Passing our best to the boys and also Prue. And, mate, really appreciate you coming on. And Mortz has got one more question for you.
Yeah, no, it's not a question. Yeah. I just wanted to say there'll be a lot of very happy listeners hearing that news about Noah. I think he's touched, I know he's touched everybody's hearts. And, we know the job and the support that you've had to get to this stage. So, there'll be a lot of very happy listeners tonight knowing that are hearing that good news about Noah. So that's fantastic news. Congratulations.
No worries. Yeah, he's such a beautiful little boy too. He's starting to learn a few more people at the Trots now and sing out to them when they're going around and stuff like that. And I'm sure he'll get it. I'm sure everyone's seen him, and because he is a little hurricane, he doesn't stop, so I'm sure he'll get around everyone sooner or later and give them either a high five or a cuddle or something like that. So, no, as I said, the support's been unreal, and it makes you proud of the industry you've been. People we have arguments, we do have, dramas across the way in the competitive nature, but when the dust settles and sort of you can go over things and something like this happens, everyone sort of does band together, and that's the beauty about the Trots. It is a great sort of fraternity, and we couldn't be happier to be involved in the game, and we love the game.
Mate, good on you. Really appreciate you coming on, and particularly when everything's going on, and also the scratching of the horse, mate. Appreciate you coming on. Pass on our best to the family, and we'll see you there tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time with Rubin's Plight in the Classic.
No worries, boys. Good chatting to you.
Good on you, Michael George there, and what wonderful news.
Oh, it was great. Really good.
Wonderful news about young Noah.
Yeah, I remember when we had the night.
Prue came on and.
Yep, you had the night for at Gloucester Park for Noah. It was great, amazing, and to hear that no more chemo.
Yeah,
I mean, we would struggle. So it's hard to imagine how a young kid would struggle, but as parents, it just must be.
And great to hear that Cruz is going so well as well, because obviously it's been hard on him as a young fella.
Yep,
it's impacted him as well. So
there's been so much time and focus having to be spent to look after Noah. So great news, really good news, Michael.
It sure is. Now, the big news, Mort's, about last week was the Pacing Cup. And before we discuss it, let's go back and we'll see if we can play the start of the race into the final stages of Magnificent Storm winning the second edition of the 2023 WA Pacing Cup.
Racing, Jumping Jack Mac is gathering speed. Magnificent Storm is trying to get across. Jumping Jack Mac going quickly. Diego just off them. Loyalist the inside. Magnificent Storm is burning into that first turn. Jumping Jack Mac is doing his best the inside. It's going to get tight. Magnificent Storm, 3/4 crosses. Jumping Jack Mac galloped. He crossed over pretty sharply. Jumping Jack Mac lost 5 metres. He's running second. Magnificent Storm in front of Steal the Show. Valentine's Brook is out wider, battling away Tenzing Bramac, and deep out is Minstrel around the turn. Magnificent Storm is clear from Jumping Jack Mac. Steal the Show. Valentine's Brook is down the outside with Minstrel, but Magnificent Storm had raced away. What a performance. He's going to bolt in. Great battle for the minors. Jumping Jack Mac, also Valentine's Brook and Minstrel, but Magnificent Storm was absolutely outstanding. Jumping Jack Mac the inside, Minstrel out.
Yeah, in the end, Magnificent Storm over 3-length win to Jumping Jack Mac, who ran second, and Minstrel was a gallant performance to get into third. The old stage horse, we call him old stage. He's the same age as Magnificent Storm.
He was terrific.
And some other Valentine's Brook into fourth. But plenty of controversy, Morts. It wasn't ended on the track. There was a protest fired in and got a bit fiery in the protest room. Great coverage from the Trots WA Twitter page to actually show the emotion and how the protest was, and in the end it was dismissed. Look, for me, I don't think they could have upheld the protest. The margin was too big, and to say that Jumping Jack Mac would have beaten him is I couldn't go that far. There has since been talk about relegation rules, which is a separate thing.
Sorry, I need to ask, what have you based that upon? Because if...
well, what I based it on was 3 lengths.
I know, but
I'm not saying it wouldn't have changed the race. What I'm saying is you couldn't be sure Jumping Jack Mac would have beaten Magnificent Storm, which is what the protest was about.
But...
no doubt.
Jumping Jack Mac could have kept
no doubt, but he still could have beaten him home. He still could have a different race, but he still couldn't have beaten him home. And that's what the protest is. So when you're doing a protest, it's would that horse have beaten him? And you've got to be sure that horse would have beaten him as a steward. No doubt the race would have changed. To tell you the truth,
changed dramatically.
I don't think Magnificent Storm could have won if he sat out if he didn't cross. But the protest is second versus first, and you've got to be sure Jumping Jack Mac would have beaten him. Now, Halls are adamant that he would have beaten him,
naturally,
as you would, and Magnificent Storm is adamant they could have sat outside and beat him. So, but saying that, but then there's the further discussion about the relegation rule, and there is a rule in racing that says a horse may be disqualified if it crosses without being clear. But to my understanding of the legalities of the issue, the specific rule of the protest supersedes a general rule. So it's one or the other. And if the protest wasn't lodged, then the stewards could have enacted the second rule, but I don't think they would have.
But wouldn't have.
I don't think they would have, because they haven't enacted it in any other race. So that brings us back to, for me, 2 things. Whether we need... Well, I think the rules will be changed so there's more clarification on that. And I think that'll go back to the integrity of HRA to clarify a protest versus the general rule.
Yep.
But the other thing is, do we bring in relegation? Because that's a separate argument. So, first of all, I've just said what I think about the protest, and I think they got the protest right. This is the same stewards, mind you, that actually, the 2 main stewards, that actually upheld the Lucky Grey protest in the railway.
Now, I've still got the ticket.
And I'm still doing... I don't think that should have been upheld.
No.
But that's a different...
And gallops are different to harness.
Of course it is.
Because just the way they raced.
Yes.
So,
but if you were the steward, would you have upheld the protest?
If I was the steward, I would have thought that the second horse
Because you've got to be...
When you look at the gap, you'd say, no, the second horse wouldn't have made up the gap. However, the race would have been run differently.
I agree with that.
And I think Jumpin' Jack Mac would have led and could have been hard.
Could have been.
Yeah, absolutely could have.
I think it changes the race, and I don't think either of them win. If and that might... I don't think Hall agrees with me with that either, Gary Hall Senior or some of the camp. But I think, and there's two, and you can look at a couple of different versions of the horse. He's led 2 starts ago and won.
One, yes.
But he's also burnt out before and got beat. But whether Magnificent Storm could have sat outside, and then you've got other horses coming around as well.
Correct.
And we've seen him the other week when he sat in the 1-1 and couldn't get over the top of the other horse of whether he could have. And I think it changed the race. Whether he would have won, I think, is problematic. But to uphold a protest is different to say the race changes.
Yes, I get that. I do get that bit. Look, I think the thing which shouldn't be lost is, regardless of the fact it was a pacing cup, that's irrelevant.
Yep.
Because we're seeing this.
Completely agree.
We're seeing this in races. Now, it doesn't matter whether we're racing in the farthest out country track or Gloucester Park, wherever we're racing, that sort of behaviour is unacceptable, Michael.
No, completely agree. I think that now, because I was always against relegation as a punter,
completely different,
and saw it completely as a punter of relegation, because I've seen horses relegate for causing interference to horses that couldn't possibly have beaten them. And I'm going, well, it's sort of against the rules of racing. However, I am moving towards a more of a, relegation for a safety reason of we've got to stamp this out of horses crossing. But you've got to be all in. So you can't just go, we got to do it on a pacing cup.
I agree with that.
So it's got to be all in. So it's in my opinion, if you're bringing in relegation, the Wednesday race where Hayden got 40, and I don't want to pick on Hayden because Hayden's an aggressive driver, but I'm not going to pick on that. That would have been relegated because he's caused interference. It doesn't matter whether that horse could have beaten him, and obviously I don't think it could have. And then also, I mean, to pick another race, and I think we can pick out many examples.
Certainly can.
The 2-year-old race the week before the Golden Slipper, where there was interference, that horse would be relegated under this rule. He's caused that horse severely checked, caused the horse to break, and so. But it's one or the other. If we got to bring it in, it's for everything.
If you bring it in for everything, you'll stamp it out a lot faster.
No, and I'm moving. I know I'm moving towards that,
because what sort of a deterrent? Is 6 weeks and $3,000.
Yeah,
that was.
Well, it's 4 weeks. He got 2 weeks before the
4 weeks.
Well, 14 days for the Wednesday incident, and then the 28 days for the.
And that's just not good enough.
Well, but the other thing is, and the stewards can give out penalties, but they keep on drivers keep on getting off or let off for a day or let off a couple of days or whatever else. So in the end, the stewards' decisions are being watered down in the appeals process as well. So you can't. It's a little bit hard to be critical of the stewards when they're coming up with penalties that are getting watered down regardless of what they say. So that's another layer, mind you. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's just the way it is.
But the penalty they gave for Friday night was...
You think it's inadequate?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing, disrespectful. It was just... And regardless of the fact that it was a big race...
But once again, as I said, we can't bring it in for pacing cups.
No, it's got to be for any race.
Holus bolus.
Yeah.
It's for everything. And as you said, it's for Bustleton, Collie, those. But I think it's got to be a national... Because a lot of the discussion was from interstate. There was a lot of discussion from interstate about relegation and the rules and stuff like that. But the problem is they don't do it over there either.
Yeah.
So, but once again, the rules have got to be more there's got to be more clarity around the rules. And at the moment, my understanding is it's one or the other. But they wouldn't have. They haven't actually used the other rule anyway.
Yeah. As an owner, I would accept if our horse caused interference to another horse.
It's going to be give and take, because we've all had horses cop interference, and our horses have also been involved in interference. So it's a bit of give and take. It's just been highlighted the fact that it was a pacing cup, and if there was a relegation rule invoked in Australia, there's no way Hayden would have crossed down. And speaking to Rob Thomason after the race, he was adamant they could have sat outside and won. And you can see that that's their point of view.
So why didn't they?
Well, and that's the other question of
why wouldn't you? If you think you can do that, then why wouldn't you do that rather than just continue on and then just drop down to the fence?
But it's like everything. Like one camp thinks they would have won, another camp thinks they would have won. So, but taking that aside, I think if we go down the relegation path, and there's plenty of people that have called for it, but it's either implemented or it's not, and it's probably more of a national discussion. And we've seen it in New Zealand before, where there's horses that have caused interference, might have been to 100 to 1 chance that couldn't have beat them, but just happened to be it's happened to cause interference, and all of a sudden that horse is relegated beyond that horse.
I got no problems with that.
No, neither do I. Now I don't. As a punter before coming through, as a younger,
completely different.
As a younger punter, I thought, no, I didn't like this relegation rule. I've moved towards the other way of no. I think we should go safe. But also, once you make the decision, you've got to publicise it, saying this is what we're bringing in, and this is what you can expect to happen. But I don't think under the rules and what we've actually been under for the past whatever, that the stewards didn't do anything outside what would have happened previously. I don't think they could have upheld a protest from my understanding is, if it was upheld, then they could have, like the owners of Magnificent Storm could have appealed and probably would have won in court. Now we don't want to see that. We've seen Franco Tiger versus Master Musician in the
took a while
in the in the Trill Memorial. I don't know how long it went. It could have been 10 years. I don't know. It seemed a very long time. It could have been longer.
Long time.
And went through the courts for a long time. We obviously don't.
Which we don't want to see that.
No, we don't want to see that. But I think the discussion's got to be held now at the integrity at the highest level to then, this is what we're going to do, and rewrite the laws to make sure that if that's the way that we want to go, that's the way that we want to go. And I think, animal welfare now and safety and all that, I think that's what we want to see.
Well, human safety.
Yeah, and human, exactly.
Obviously the driver's safety.
Yeah.
The horse's safety, the welfare of the horse, obviously. And in a pacing cup, a lot of those horses, they're not just...
Well, it's come to the fore because it was a pacing cup.
And they're expensive horses.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this discussion wasn't happened for those other couple of races.
No.
Which, were they worse interference? Possibly.
Yeah. But, like you as a punter, didn't really worry about it.
I used to be dead against it. I've now probably changed my mind.
Yeah.
I'd be, if they said, we're bringing in relegation, I'd probably go, I'm with you.
Because we do need to get rid of it, because somebody's going to bring the whole field down one day, and that's going to
But announce it as well and go, this is what we're doing. So we're implementing it, this is what we're doing, and draw a line in the sand and go, this is what we're doing. But I think under the circumstances, under the legalities of the rules, I don't think the stewards had much option.
And I don't disagree with that. I didn't like it. No. I didn't like it at all. But I kind of knew where it was headed.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it. Just because when you actually looked at it, it was like, wasn't a good look. Not a good look for our sport at all. What's he's sitting over there
Hayden,
thinking, don't ask me, but I'm going to, Hayden. What was your thoughts on Pacing Cup night at Gloucester Park?
Well, it was a good night. It was good to have an atmosphere there at the track.
Second question was what was your thoughts on the race and the protest?
Well, the race was marred by that early interference. It was good to see Magnificent Storm, if nothing else, get a win that he had been knocking on the door to receive for some time. And let's not forget the story of Ray Williams and he and his family as well, who he has granted been so prolific in the trots before switching over to the gallops, and Ray so close with Pacific Warrior, and he'd been chasing this race for so long. He finally got that win with Magnificent Storm. I did feel sorry for Stewie and Senior because they were deprived through those early stages of perhaps achieving their best chance of winning the race, but I'm not sour for the fact that we got to see Ray, and I got to see what it meant to the connections of the horse as well in the aftermath of achieving that victory that they wanted so badly.
Yeah. Oh, well, 100%.
Sorry?
You haven't given your opinion, though, on the incident.
That's nothing. That's just... What sort of an answer is that?
It's a diplomatic one.
Oh, come on.
What do you want me to say, Mords?
No.
Give me a direct question. I'll give you a direct answer.
Okay. Did the stewards make the right decision?
Yes.
Was it a bad look for harness racing?
Yes.
The other question is relegation. Pro or against?
I'm against.
Okay. Punter.
There has to be
punter.
There has to be some level of discretion.
Punter. So yeah.
You know that Pussycat Dolls song? Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
Well, that's the thing. And it is be careful what you wish for because it will affect you at some stage down the line.
Yep.
So if you're and that's I'm probably moving before I was against. I think I'm moving towards yes, because I think it will probably deter more of incidents than it will affect horses that affect punting anyway. That's my opinion now. But yeah, it's I before I was completely against it as a punter because I've seen horses get relegated for probably incidental interference as I probably would have thought it was. But I'm now no. Let's go with the rule. But that's also a discussion that should be had nationally, and it should be nationally implemented.
You have to consider every single possible malignant variable that could come.
And that's the thing. There's always there's for every action there's an opposite, an equal reaction.
Yeah, Newton's first law. Exactly.
So there will be ramifications if we implement it. Like it's not going to be all smooth sailing. But but is it on the more side of positive effects, and it outweighs the negatives?
By bringing it in, you will reduce that area for discretion, which does reduce the claims for any kind of rebuttal from those who are ill affected by it. So I can understand that. And you do have to have the right people in positions to make those discretionary decisions, which is also.
But once again, everyone hates discretionary decisions. So that's the problem. And then they'll say it's favourite bias towards certain people of those discretionary decisions. So that's again the issue of, well, no, if you cause interference under this rule, if you cross a horse without being clear of it, that means relegation. And that's the rule that people want. They're talking about being implemented. That would be the rule.
So, Hayden, would you prefer that then a much harsher penalty to try and reduce? So, in other words, instead of 4 weeks, we go, all right, you've got 3 months and $5,000 is a bigger penalty enough of a deterrent to take some of that out of the harness racing?
It purely depends on the circumstances because let's face it, in Aiden's circumstance, he is solely the reinsman. What about this scenario where you have a hobby owner, breeder, whatever? He also trains the horse. He drives the horse. He's in that race, and he has the option to cause the interference and win the race or not. Well, obviously, the good in me hunts down the fact that he's going to make the morally righteous decision. But if he's fiscally driven, what's he going to do?
Yeah, and that's why usually the bigger races are penalised more heavily.
But there's no,
particularly in thoroughbreds.
There's no penalty like that they could impose, say 5 months or whatever.
Yeah, especially if you're a hobby
He's got
trainer.
300 grand staring at him as he thinks about going to the inside.
Yeah. Which is why if you got relegation, then there's no issue.
Well,
because you're not crossing.
But 4 weeks and $3,000 to me just doesn't feel right.
In a sense, no, because he earned, triple that for the driving fee.
Yeah.
And he makes a living from training as well. Again, I've got no issue with Aiden at all.
No, you also can't base it just on Aiden.
No,
I can get that.
And I want to stress that I'm not targeting Aiden at all. It's just this specific incident, the one we're talking about, he was the one involved.
Yeah.
But as a man of discretion, I think there has to be some discretion.
All right, so you're against relegation?
Yep.
Relegation?
Yes, I'm for
So
it.
you would bring it in?
Yes.
I'm now moving towards that position. There you go. There we go. 2 against 1. Bad luck, Hayden. I've got you.
Comes in tomorrow night at Gloucester Park now. Okay.
I don't, but it does create a wider discussion though. And if you've noticed, a lot of the social media had been from the eastern states, much more so than even over here. There was a few interactions between different people, but a lot of discussion came out of the eastern states about the race, and a lot of it was for relegation. Now, once again, it's all or nothing, and the rule will state if you cross without sufficient. So that would mean if you cut down on one, and it doesn't matter whether you're going to get relegated. So it also might change racing as well, where they're not doing it, which I think would be the better.
What if they have an extreme special circumstance?
Well,
where they share the race.
What do you mean?
Well, they dead heat it. They tie them because there's no way you could possibly know.
Well, the relegation would then, if you cross down on them, then you would relegate to second.
Yeah, you're out of the race, but obviously
no, you're not out of the race. You relegate behind the horse that you've caused the interference.
Yeah.
So if you dead heat, you go to second, that other horse promoted the winner.
Yeah, but in this scenario, what if you dead heat them and you say they share the race? Because you're unsure of whether relegation is too harsh or...
No, there's no harshness or not. If you've caused the interference...
That's what I'm saying. That's why we should have discretion, because...
No, well, I don't think we can... You either got the rule or you don't.
That's fair enough. I'm just saying. I'm just raising it as a point.
Yeah. And there's no doubt that it'll affect horses that, we probably don't think deserve to lose or be, or should have been behind that horse. But the rule, it will be the rule.
That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah. But we're talking about how many races. But I'm now coming to think that it would probably be better, but for the small amount of races that it happens. But anyway, it's a good discussion. No doubt we've had this discussion. There's no doubt that it's been discussed within the industry at length.
I think I left here on last Thursday. I tipped Magnificent Storm.
You certainly did.
Because I thought he would drive him out of the barriers, because he gets him out better than nobody in the industry.
You certainly did.
Yeah.
And I tipped Jumping Jack Mac to lead and win.
Yeah,
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. I mean, we're very lucky that the horse stayed in his feet.
He is a very good pacer, Jumping Jack Mac, and he showed that by balancing up so quickly and readily, particularly given that he's likely suffered some pain, you would assume, from getting contacted, and he's finished the race off so creditably to run second against some of the best horses in this part of Australasia.
Yeah. Certainly was a great race. All right.
Certainly was.
Shall we move on now? Morts.
I was about to give a shout out tonight.
Yeah, go on.
Until I read the steward's report. The young boy, Savelko.
Aaron.
I was going to give him a shout out. Saw he had his first win till I read the steward's report.
Took out his brother too. Joey got shafted.
Nice drive, just sat there very patiently.
Where was that at?
Narrogin. Was just a little bit too anxious on the bend and came out and made the horse on the outside of him gallop, and he got the money, but
Well, so it would have been relegated.
And yeah, absolutely.
And it won by half the length of the straight too.
Yeah.
There we go.
But just because you're blocked in doesn't mean doesn't give you the right
that one I'd
push
say
out.
is different. Yeah. Because he didn't necessarily have a right to get out. He may have just been dragged back.
And he's only 16, so we'll...
No, exactly.
I do.
Exactly.
Despite the...
But another winning Savelko. They just don't stop.
Despite the operation not being flawless, I do admire the fact that he went for that run, because often those inexperienced reins people, they don't even attempt to go for those runs. So I do admire the bravado shown.
Yeah, that was very good.
Indeed.
Now, Michael, I know we've been going on for a while, but...
It's a long first segment. We might break the record. What is the record?
It's pretty close. This has been 50-something.
Yeah.
Swayze.
Oh, we've got to talk about Swayze in a second before we get to Swayze.
Right. Millwood Nike.
Talk about Millwood Nike.
Stunning. Did you see that run of Millwood Nike?
I did. I only skimmed through the replay, so
Addington Cup Day.
The magnitude probably didn't fully reach me, because it's probably the kind of race you have to watch in full and maybe even in the moment to appreciate just how good the performance was. It was like Lazarus when he was 3 wide, no cover in that cup, the Fremantle Cup over here. So
I think that would have been better. Taking nothing away from Millwood.
Yeah, obviously.
Nike, but still,
this is age and 6 restricted.
Yeah, but to sit 3 wide at Addington on Cup Day,
and then just walk away from them.
Yeah,
didn't battle to the line. Just walked away from them. Amazing.
They can find one.
Certainly could. Nice win by Skylord in the Spurs stud 3-year-old WA Country Derby.
We'll hear that a little bit later on.
Junior having a little nap. That one.
Normally it's the other way around.
And how about this one in the Wasbar Bob Young Humphreys Memorial?
Yep.
Chriso Price.
Chriso Price.
Yeah, Chriso Price took out the race there, beat Artistic Scribe, which was fair dinkum. You know how they say a horse is going up and down in the one spot? This one actually was. And
like you and me on it,
managed to score at $71. Thank you very much.
You and me on a
for
treadmill as
Radley and
opposed to the great fella.
Won that race last year as well, Chriso Price.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yep. Repeat on a roll performer.
That was a big performance on the turn. Tried to get a run in between the gap, didn't. So he kind of lost a half length or
Galloped
so.
for a stride or two.
And then went back and eventually got the run through the middle. And as I said, poor Artistic Scribe was going up and down in the one spot, and it managed to grab it on the line for Madeline Young. Good win.
Yep.
Very good win. And as I said, great win for Jocelyn Young on Skylord.
Yep. Very good.
My computer has actually gone off. That's how long we've been here. It just turned off.
Right. Does that mean we're talking to nobody?
No. You're still you're talking. It just means wrap it up.
Right. Right.
We've
just been told.
We probably should be talking to nobody.
We've just been told to wrap it up.
Now, on the APG website, the apgold.com.au, the catalogue isn't up yet, but the list of horses is up. So you can go through and have a look at the list of horses for the APG sale coming up in early 2024. And I've got to say, the actual list, I've got to say I'm happy with the APG website. It's actually the way you can actually look at now, and the list you can scan through and you can alphabetise the size or alphabetise the cosigners or the dams and all. Yeah, it was a static page and just the thing. And I'm hoping that the catalogue is not the book. It's actually more along with this. But really good to see the size this year. Like normally the last couple of years we've had, particularly last year, I think because of COVID and that, there was a couple of the top size and it was majority of a lot of the up and coming size or relatively new size. But I think we got about 8 or so Always Be Mickeys, about 8 American Ideals, 4 or 5 Art Majors, 3 Better's Delights, 6 or 7 Down by the Seasides. So those top size, there's a really good coverage of those top size here, plus the local size, Rock and Roll World, Fly Like an Eagle, Shuby's Delight, who's the new stallion whose side Better Be the Best. Poster Boys, there's a few of them. But there's about 4 or 5 Tall Dark Strangers who was really good in America this year. His first year at the sales. Some of the results for him were really good, and he's obviously the new kid on the block over there. But we've got 5 Tall Dark Strangers, I think, in the race in the sale this year.
Sales,
so 141, I think, from looking at it. So that's get on the APG sales and have a look. I'm told they're working feverishly on getting the catalogue out. Alan Parker's this year in charge of getting the catalogue. They've come to him late, but he's got a very quick Alan Parker. And there's no one better. There's no one better at doing catalogues than Alan Parker. So there's 2 Sweet Loos, both fillies as well. So we saw there was 2 Sweet Loos last year. They both went for a good price. So I think you bought it. Did you buy the filly?
Oh, we did. Yep, Sweet Lou Lavera.
Yeah, and the colt went for 140. It's a Cat Warwick's client. So
that's right. It was one of the...
Yeah, the tops of the 2 went for 140. Both the Cat Warwick.
Filly's nice.
Yeah, so that's nice. Good.
Yeah, very nice.
That's good. And congratulations to the winner of the Trots giveaway with the Trots WA that was given away on Friday night to our Vincent Moon over Manhattan gelding now. He's been gelded and I haven't spoken to JP, but I think he was bringing him back into work this week after the Derby horses went out, so they're about to come back in. So
that's right.
We'll get an update for the team. But congratulations to everyone. Great to have Trots WA giving away a share. But there you go.
It was a good night last Friday night for the owners only.
Yep, yeah, really good, wasn't it?
Great job.
Yeah, good crowd, really good crowd. Plenty of Trots owners in there, plenty of just owners in general.
Yeah, no, it was good. Good to see.
Yeah,
good to see.
So, yep, great to have them on board. Now, this segment, Morts, is brought to us by our good friends at Steel Blue Boots. Built for comfort, made for work. Our man Ross Fitzgerald was there on Friday night. No one loves his harness more than Ross Fitzgerald.
He certainly does.
Great supporters.
He is a mark of true skill himself.
Isn't he?
As well.
Himself.
He can go extremely well. But Steel Blue Boots, designed for comfort, durability and choice, backed by a 30-day, 100% comfort guarantee. And... built for comfort, made for work. But
Sure
Ross
is.
was there on Friday night.
He was.
Enjoyed the
He's got a few trips coming up though. He's he's
away this week.
He's going. He can't make the 4-year-old classic, which you'll have a horse in, hopefully.
Hopefully.
In Tricky Mickey. I think he's going to Robbie Williams that night.
Yeah, he is.
And then I think he might have. I hope hepe he might be away for another one. Yeah. So hopefully he's here for the Retrovision Golden Nugget.
He's not here tomorrow night.
No. All right. Now Swayze, New Zealand Cup. What a performance. We spoke about him with Brittany Graham last week about his run at Menangle where he was trucked through the 2400. It's very hard to go over to New Zealand and win a New Zealand Cup as an Australian. There's only been a handful to do it.
Well, on the corner,
Steel Jaw,
Akuto,
not too many.
Just absolutely looked like he had the great sit on him.
Dropped in
perfectly, and I thought
Mark Burns thought another one's coming up.
And when they straightened, that looked the case. But then Swayze just too good, pulled away. But thought Akuto had him on the bend, but far too good.
What a performance! What a run! Not only Jason Grimson, but Cam Hart. How big's he gone the last couple of years with big races for such a young man.
He's 24 or 25, I think.
200 Dominions, the inaugural Nullarbor. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll be here for the first week of the 4-year-old Classic for my Ultimate Riding, but I'm tipping he'll be here for the Retrovision Golden Nugget. It'd be great to have him back. He's certainly a very talented young driver.
We'll just make sure he gets barrier 9.
Can we give him? We'll get Jared on maybe next week or the week after Jared Elchin, and then
be a very good addition to the race.
Yeah,
for sure.
my old Ronnie, good to see him coming over. Pars Guarantee, who won the Country Cup on Sundays, a 4-year-old in New South Wales. They were looking to bring him over. He won by a big space in the Country Cup in New South Wales on Sunday, but they're going to stay for the bonuses over there, and my old Ronnie's still coming over for Jared Elchin. So we'll get Jared on. He's a good fella, Jared. And great to have him here. But it's time for a break. It's been a long segment.
We're going to have 3 very quick next segments.
As we go to the break, this is Cameron Hart and Swayze. Too good in New Zealand, and great to see an Australian win another New Zealand Cup.
In the Cup, 29.6 the third quarter. Swayze shaken up a length and a half to Akuta, trying to go with him. Then Beach Ball, and he's a sport. Swayze finding a length on Akuta, who's coming. Then Beach Ball. Swayze still in front. Akuta can't reach him. Then came Beach Ball, but it's Swayze for the Riverina boys. An Australian hero. Swayze won the New Zealand Cup by 3 lengths from Akuta. Third across was Beach Ball.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
On its back, the code breaker out wider around the turn. Who's It At has got the lead from Waterbro down the outside, running on his Sugar Street, battling away Major Perry, and here's El Chema putting in a run as well, but Who's It At is clear. El Chema runs to second. Who's It At in front? El Chema's flying. El Chema goes to Who's the Dad. Emily Savalco drove El Chema up on the outside of Who's the Dad and Shannon Savalco, and I think got up in the last stride. El Chema on the outside, thundering home.
He's good,
Who's
Richie.
It At the inside?
He doesn't get too many photos wrong, does he?
No, he's pretty good. He's a good call. Very good call.
Well, you thought so.
We were standing past the post, so
yeah,
actually thought he didn't get there. But no, good call by Richie.
Yeah,
great drive by Emily Savalco.
Centimetre perfect.
Excellent drive. Really was good. Just read because there was a fairly strong wind, so did good to get a bit of cover, and then came with a well-timed run and beat Shannon. So it was great drive.
Yep, centimetre perfect from Emily on El Chema. And, a really good performance, and a really strong form race as well, I think, coming out of that. Now, this segment, Morts, is brought to you by Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialists, where RAC members receive an additional 5% every day. And guess what's coming up, Morts?
And the important thing with that RAC discount, Michael, is the RAC discount applies to the Black Friday price.
That's what I was going to say. What's coming up, Morts?
Black Friday. So what we do every morning is we go through all the major opposition, JB Hi-Fi, Good Guys, Harvey Norman. We match all their pricing online, but if you're an RAC member, you'll still get 5%. So their best at Black Friday price, you still get 5%. Why would you shop anywhere else?
It is now Black Friday, the biggest day, or weekend in so. Is it weekend?
Yes, it'll go for a week.
A week?
A week. And it is now our biggest sale event, so get into your local store and grab a bargain.
Yes. Or you can go to retrovision.com.au.
Do it from the luxury of your home.
You sure can. Even if you're in Broome.
Yes.
You can get on to retrovision.com.au, and one man who's sitting up there having a pina colada as we speak is the great Bomber Hill. Scott, how are you, buddy?
Very well, thanks, Rads. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. How is the weather up there in your area?
Mate, she's getting a bit steamy, but it's still a pretty nice part of the world. I was actually sitting down on Cable Beach having breakfast yesterday morning, and
of course you were.
Sometimes you just got to remember it is a pretty good place to live.
Absolutely.
Of course you were, particularly the way you've been going as well. 7 units, the last couple of weeks, and then the multi last week tipped us over. So God bless you. we've got some ammo for Black Friday.
Yes.
Absolutely. It timed our run nicely.
We sure have. All right. Now, there's a big 10-race card. Now, 6:18. Times are getting tough at Sky. 6:18 is the first, so a little bit later than usual. And the times as we come into this time of year, it's harder to make sure we get in the right times because there is so many meetings. But 6:18 the first, 10 races on the card, and the feature is the Running Camel 4-year-old championship at Group 3 level for $50,000. And Bomber, before we get into it, the market for Tab Touch for the 4-year-old championship, we've got Luca 330, Bellissimo Acquisto at $4.20, Street Hawk $5.50, Tricky Mickey $6. You also find Inside the Back Line at $4, the ones in the market. Tell you what, I can't remember a more open feature race than this. Did you have an on-top selection?
Yeah, well, the draw's sort of made it fairly open, hasn't it? I found it pretty hard. I kept sort of coming back to Luca from the inside. I think he'll hold up and he's going to get his chance, but you got Junior on his back and he generally finds a way off the pegs. A Tricky Mickey, he certainly wouldn't surprise, and Street Hawk, he finds it hard to win, but he's certainly got the ability. So, it's a race that I'll watch with anticipation of.
Yep, no, it sure is.
Great race.
Yeah, it's a very open race, so it's... I think market's going to provide a big key. They've already come for Luca. He's opened up $5 into $3.30. Now, the first race we're going to look at is race number 4. It's Adopt a Camel over the 25-36 metres. And there's 2 scratchings. 2 of the Team Bond runners. Patronus Star, who ran second last week, from 3, and also Tenzing Bromax also been scratched from outside the front. No market as such, but Codebreaker's been going really well from the inside. So Sylvie Bondi, the stablemate. Then we've got Steal the Show dropping back from the Pacing Cup. Fastland Dad for Michael George, our guest tonight, Cordero. Armour Einstein, who didn't get a great deal of luck last week, and Minstrel, who was fantastic in the Pacing Cup, but the outside barrier. Bomber, which way are you going for race number 4?
Yeah, with Steal the Show, I actually thought he probably had a couple of options here. Obviously, plan A will probably be to try and zap the Codebreaker off the arm, but I'm not convinced he can. I think they'll have a look, but even if he doesn't, I think he ends up 1-1 anyway, with Minstrel almost certain to head around to the breeze, and from there he gets a perfect sit. He's been racing against the cream, as you've touched on there, coming out of the Cup, and I just think he gets a super run here regardless of what happens. If he leads, I can't see them beating him, but even from the 1-1, the Codebreakers, the 2500 doesn't particularly suit him, I don't think, and Minstrel will eyeball him, so he's certainly going to get a look. And the one that really worries me a little bit is Armour Einstein. He was completely luckless last week, and if they do happen to overdo it, he can certainly get over the top, but pretty keen on Steal the Show with a gun run.
Yeah, very tricky little race, this one, with two horses out, brings it back to 7. Like you said, Armour Einstein last start was absolutely held up, couldn't see any daylight. Hillview Bondi, we spoke about earlier on, was a fantastic win, and Minstrel in the Cup was outstanding. So promises to be a great race, but race number 4, Bomber, over the 25-36. Horse number 4, Steal the Show for Team Bond and Denny Roberts. What's our staking plan?
Yeah, 2 unit better. I think we'll see black figures. It could even be around the sort of 250, 260 mark. I'm not 100% sure how they'll open up, but I just think he's got a couple of options there, and he's certainly got the class.
All right, the next race we got to look at, we do have a market from Tab Touch. It is race number 7, Mighty Third from the Minstrel Division 2. It's over the 21-30 metres. Let's have a look at the Tab Touch market for this event, and we've got Stanford, $1.80 and solid. Blue Blazer, $61. Getting Wiggy with it, $18. Disco Under Fire, $41. Amazing American, $61. Just Like Turbo, $126. Tripping of the Colour, $41. The Kraken, $31. Akuto, not Akuta, Akuto is at $81. Then inside the back line, Fire Rock, Fire Roll, $12. Tiger Royal, $12. and Magnificent at 240. So the punters and the market have got it sorted out into two horses. Stanford, the polar at 180, and Magnificent, the polar opposite, outside the back line at 240. Which way are you going, Bomber?
I think it's a simple case of Stanford being anywhere near his best, and he will just win. Grads. He never really came up last prep, but he had a change of stable, and I'm taking it as a positive that they're coming here without a trial, and I reckon he must be ready to rock and roll. He's got the toe to lead, the only horse that could possibly test him off the arm if he's getting wiggy with it, and I couldn't see him crossing. So he looks to get a super run in transit. There's zero pressure in the race. Only real danger is Magnificent, who's going to be out the back, and he's going to need a really good card up, as good as he was last week in a 55 last half. He could end up in a similar sort of predicament here, and I just think Stanford, if he's at his best, this is a gift wrap price. He'll just lead and win.
Yeah, there's no doubt that last campaign raced well below best form, now trained and driven here by Dylan Edgerton Green. Race number 7, horse number 1. What's the staking plan with Stanford, Bomber?
Yeah, I'm going to rip in, Rads. Mort, sorry, we're going to go a 5-unit bet. I just think his best will win. There's no doubt about it. And the fact they're coming here without a trial on the, coming off that pretty ordinary prep last time, I just think it has to be a positive. I couldn't imagine him coming to town without trialling him. So I'm keen to get it stuck in.
The team's on a high as well, the owners, even though it's trained and driven by Dylan, Tomlinson, Keating, Morris, who are all involved with Magnificent Storm. We've got Stanford.
I would say they're still
Spoke to Damien
Michael
this morning. He'll be there. Bell's on. He might be going for this, Damo. So, a 5-unit bet, Morts.
Like it. Like it a lot, Bomber. Good work.
All right, as we take a break. Now, we've spoken about the 4-year-old championship. Hoppy's Way.
Jumped out of the ground.
Although it's drifting in the market, $26 to $71 in the Tab Touch market for Friday night. But I tell you what, it was a good performance on Friday night. Had to do the tough, which probably haven't really seen from him before.
No, it's normally been a leader's horse.
Yep.
Did some work and it was just too good. Shannon Savelko again.
Well, he's in the main race, and tell you what, he's got some speed. Wouldn't surprise me if he rolls the dice, Hoppy's Way. He ran second in the Derby as a 3-year-old when he led, and he's backing up in these 4-year-old races. As we get to the break, here is Hoppy's Way getting the cash and proving too strong last week.
In the colour, Amazing American and Magnificent. Hoppy's Way to the turn, 27.5 in front from Fire Rock, Fire Roll. Mr. Fantastic down the outside, but it's Hoppy's Way in front, doing it well from Mr. Fantastic. Hoppy's Way in front, Mr. Fantastic, disco under Fire and Fire Rock, Fire Roll, and a brilliant win to Hoppy's Way. Mr. Fantastic second and third, disco under.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Beyond the Sea trying very hard. Steno is running on wide out, and then Don't Be Silly Shilly. Wonderful to Fly's in front. Beyond the Seas off her back. Wonderful to Fly the leader. Beyond the Seas cutting her down. Wonderful to Fly in front, but Beyond the Sea goes up on the outside. Beyond the Sea noses Wonderful to Fly and has won the Norm's Daughter brilliantly. Beyond the Sea has won from Wonderful to Fly. Born to
Yeah, Beyond the Sea got the better of Wonderful to Fly. And if you listen to the Retrovision preview on Tab Radio on the Friday morning, Shane Young was on and said she's probably just a run or two off because she's had a couple of little setbacks, but didn't say that she wasn't ready. And then, Beyond the Sea, who Bomber threw in his multi as a place chance, got over the top, and great to see a double for Murray Lindo, and also Kyle Harper, and also
was great,
Trevor Lindsay in the team as well, getting the cash with this mare out of Robin CC. Who's really well bred. Actually was the mother of Beat the Bank, who we bought for Trots as a sale. And no doubt, I think the Robin CC will have a few going through the sale over the next few years for the Lindsays. But Beyond the Sea, a great win in the Norm's Daughter, and obviously the Westrel Mares Classic is a week away. So the following Friday night, the 25th. So
great race.
Got to be really good. Born to Boogie, Steno. No doubt they'll be backing up and ready to go. But it's got to be a great Mares Classic. But Beyond the Sea, too good. Now, this segment, Morts, is brought to you by Loans 123, Car Loans, Debt Consolidation, all your personal finance. Who do you see?
The nude nut, Steve Sell.
Yep, the great man at loans123.com.au, or the very easy to remember
1800 100 100.
And they are still doing
things the banks can't, Michael.
Yep, they sure are. He's a great supporter of ours, great supporter of Tab Radio, and just a great man, the nude nut, Stevie Sell.
It's always good for a laugh, Stevie.
Yep, he sure is. All right, the next race we're going to look at, we do have a market off Tab Touch, and we'll get straight into it because it's been a rather long show already, Morts.
Really?
I hope Senka hasn't put the stake on already because it'll be, well, I'd like it. Well done.
Well and truly done by them.
You could have a few issues. Yeah. But this is Dot Moore Needs a Straw 3-year-old fillies over the 1730 metres. And race number 8, it is on the card. And let's have a look at the Tab Touch market. And we've got Jackie Daniels at 235 and fairly solid. Get a Booth at 21, Quattros $8, Spirit of an Angel 16, Unlucky at $4.80, Our Lily Lou at $6, Bella Ragazza 15, All Aglow 14. You can scratch the 9. Lady Violetta at 21, Nancy K 41, and Between Two Thorns at $13. The 3-year-old fillies do battle in race number 8. Bomber, which way are we going?
With All Aglow, she's a massive price here. I thought she was some chance of Shanghaiing from the wide gate of the mile, and if she does cross, then she's probably close to favourite. So I just can't let her go around at this price. She's pretty versatile, so even if they do decide to take the conservative approach and take the sit, she's far from hopeless. And I thought she was very good last time. She tangled up with Jackie Daniels in a 35 lead time and was all but crossed Jackie Daniels on that occasion. And the front straight's only going to help her chances. So, I just think at $14, she's a really big price and she's been going really well. So, happy to take the price.
Interesting field, very not a lot between them, but All Aglow, Cap Warwick, Shannon Savelko in the cart. So if you want to get a good Shanghai off the arm, there's probably not too many better bomber than Shannon Savelko. So race 8, number 8, All Aglow, Cap Warwick, Shannon Savelko. What's our staking plan?
Yeah, 1 unit bet. Look at I don't think, as you said, there's not much between 4 or 5 of them here, and we get the best price about her. So, more than happy to take the value.
All right, then the final race we're going to have a look at, it's the Money Magnet Stand Start of the 2503 metres. We've got Extraordinary Mary Junior, Gary Hill Jr. driving for Gemma Hayman. Don't see that too often. It's drawn 2. It's a stand start off the front. Beleza Nera per Ardu Ad Astra is also should be in the market. Then off the back line, we've got American Bullet off 10 metres with G. Smith also off 10 metres. Campbell McCullum driving G. Smith for Matthew Scott. The stand start, Morts has got the pen. He just clicked it, so he's got his pen ready to write down what you're tipping here. Bomber, what are we going for the stand start, race number 9?
I just want to know if you bought
I reckon it's the red pen ready to put a line through, isn't it?
I was just wondering whether you'd bought a note with your Bomber, that's all. Off you go.
No, you can, it's a long show, you can just nod off here for a few seconds. You won't be getting involved, Morts. But,
no.
I like the Nera. He's come back in super form this prep, and I think so long as he steps, which he generally does, albeit a touch scratchy, then he'll be close enough to scare the life out of these late. He can get home in a really, really good sectional, and the leader's not certain with 2, 3 and 5 all capable. So I think there might be a little bit more pressure than some of these would like over the longer trip, and he may well be the beneficiary. So, I thought he could just sit just off them and be a really good chance late.
That's good, Bomber. So race 9, number 4.
Nothing to add?
I just wish that other horse had changed its name. It's so hard to pronounce. Per Ardua Ad Astra.
Yeah. I Follow the Stars. It's actually really well named.
Richie does a good job to get it out fluently in a race. It's quite a battle. So what are we doing here, Bomber?
Yeah, just the 1 unit bet more, so you can afford to get involved, even though you
1 unit. I'll have it.
Yeah. We're on the Dylan and Edgerton Green train tomorrow night. We've got.
Tell you what, that's normally a pretty good train to be on.
Yes, very happy to be following Dill. Race 7 is the 5 unit bet Stanford, and following and ending the night with Beleza Nero and Nira, and happy to be following that stable for sure. Multi, have you got a multi for us, Bomber?
Yeah, going to 3-legger tomorrow night. Rads, all 3 I think will lead. Price is not up for most of them, but I think race 1, number 1, Longreach Bay, just finds his right race. He'll lead and win. Race 6, number 1, Master Publisher, been crying out to win one, and this looks to be the one. Into race 10, number 1, Infinite Merit, which looks too good in front. So we've spanned all 10 races there, but and probably only going to get around the $2.50 mark, I think, but I can't see any of them being beaten.
Okay, 6-4 about the all-up races 1, 6 and 10. All right, Bomber, mate, been in great form. Hopefully it continues for us. Hopefully we find a few winners, and as we roll into these mares and 4-year-old races, see what they're really interesting as well. Barrier draws are going to play a big part, but I tell you what, they're going to be a great couple of races over the next 4 weeks or so.
Oh, going to be some great super racing, and as you touched on, barrier is going to be super important, but we're going to get some good racing regardless.
Yep, sure is. All right, good on you, Bomber. We'll speak to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Good on you, Scott Bomber Hill. Now, Morts, you know the old adage of feature races, you always back the reserves in the consolation or the other if they're engaged. And Petronas Star was first reserve, Galactic Star was second reserve, and they ran 1-2 in the condition.
It was a grinding finish, but a good win too.
Only a half head separated them as well. Like it was
Galactic Star, and the third horse was very unlucky.
And Armour also was very unlucky, who Bomber tipped. As we go to the break, let's listen to the Stars fighting it out in a Quinella for Team Bond.
To the Mustang out wide, Petronas Star letting loose, and then came Galactic Star, no run Armour Rhinestone. Petronas Star is steaming down the outside, has raced up to Jetstar and Galactic Star. It's going to be a Bond trifecta, I think. On the outside, Petronas Star, Galactic Star comes back on Petronas Star. I'm a Rhinestone out of the ground, but in front Galactic Star, and Galactic Star has won from Petronas Star. I'm a Rhinestone, most unlucky, flashed home for third and denied the Bond trifecta. Close up Jetstar.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Trying to get to the outside of Star Lavra. They come to the turn. Sky Lord a length and a half. Sky Lavra on the outside, or Star Lavra at least on the outside. Crowd Control and then Lord Titanium, but it's Sky Lord over Star Lavra and Crowd Control and Sky Lord coming away to win the Country Derby and wins it brilliantly. Sky Lord from Star Lavra and Crowd Control.
Yeah, coming off Friday night as well. And the derby before that, we have Sky Lord for Jocelyn Young. As you said before, don't often catch Junior napping, but Jocelyn did.
Certainly did. I mean, Sky Lord had raced without much luck in the barrier draw. Was very unkind for a few starts there, but its ability as a 2-year-old was there, and good drive by Jocelyn did find Junior just having a bit of a nap there, and was too good, too strong. So good work to Jocelyn Young.
All right. This segment, Morts, is brought to you by Bayswater Mazda. Driving is better in a Bayswater Mazda, as you know better than anyone else. Corner of Guildford and Garrett Road.
Plenty of stock down there, Michael. The new CX-60. I don't know if you've seen. Beautiful looking car. Plenty of stock down there. Get down and see the team at Bayswater Mazda. Great service, great people, and great coffee.
They certainly are. They certainly are great supporters, Bayswater Mazda. All right. We've already spoken to Hayden earlier on, but Hayden, welcome back into the show.
Thanks.
Put you under pressure early. Some
tough
but
questions. I'm like Swayze. I just keep giving.
Yeah, don't you?
Just keep giving.
Find.
That you do.
Now, we've got some country racing this weekend. Wagent is the Friday night meeting along with Gloucester Park. 8 races, the first at 6:12. Sky 2 for the first part, and then they move on to Sky 1 a little bit later on. We've got Northam Saturday night, 8 races again. The first at 5:28, so a little bit earlier start there. Once again, the first couple on Sky 2, then they move to Sky 1. Pinjarra Monday, 8 races on the Pinjarra card. The first at 1:15. And
we got some 1177
we do.
sprints.
We have 1, 2, 3 of the 1170 sprints. So
what was your thoughts on the 1177's sprints?
We did speak about this.
Yeah.
I said I hadn't seen them.
It's been a long week in racing.
It has. I thought you might have
had a look at the replay. Still in form.
No.
I've been a bit out of the game lately.
And then
going through a midlife crisis.
Bit out of the game. Every time I have a look on Twitter, you're doing one of your interviews. Do a very good job too.
Thanks. But none of those interviews have been at Pinjarra.
No.
I'm at Gloucester Park, and I was actually at Bunbury the other day.
Bunbury,
and I'm going to Northam. I'm everywhere but Pinjarra.
Going to Northam Saturday night.
Yeah.
Very good.
And
Very good.
Gloucester Park Tuesday, 9 races, first at 4:17. Tell you what, had the he's a company man, Hayden, the new shirt. Did you notice the new shirt?
Was that the one that...
Yes, they dropped off last Thursday night. We saw the package. It was in gold-plated packaging.
And a pair of shoes too, I see.
Yes.
And I think they're going to come with a electric razor for you next week, Michael.
Yes.
see the.
I've actually got an electric razor, and Nicole said to me, "Don't you have an electric razor?" I said, "Yeah, I didn't use it." And yes, me being just.
I don't have one. I only just do the razor shave.
Yeah.
So do I.
Anyway, I'm looking worse for wear anyway. Yeah, it wasn't great. But I'll tell you what, Morts, do you reckon we could get a shirt? Not a chance. We're
lucky enough to get a card that gets us in here.
Which seldom works.
That occasionally works.
Yeah.
But they for Christmas, Morts, they might give you like a Jacobs Creek.
I didn't get one last
Claret.
year, Michael.
No?
No.
Peter O'Neill's in charge now. He does
nothing.
like you.
We got nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But Hayden's got a shirt. That's the main thing.
Which we got from the last place we were at. If we get a shirt, that's more than we got from
I tell you what,
down the road.
I tell you what, when Brittany was in last week, they were all swarming round. We got Brit here. There was escorts. There was everything. They stopped traffic to make sure she got in and out.
And she did a great job.
She did a great job.
And she does do a very good job.
Very good job. Us, though, we walk in, no one knows who we are.
No.
They don't even know we actually do the show.
I walked in one day and somebody asked if I could empty that bin for them.
They
come later on.
Apart from our 16, and it was very nice. Brittany saying she listens to the show. We know she doesn't. Not a chance in the world. Brittany Graham is listening to us drivel. Our mate Eddie Birchall listens. Ollie, Pike in the Last, listens.
I reckon we could be hovering around 20.
You reckon?
I think so. You don't agree?
I reckon we've
it's less.
I reckon we've turned a couple off tonight.
That's what I was about to say. I think we've lost some.
No, well, does it just cut out after a while?
What?
No. You know what they say?
Because somebody said that towards the end of last week's show, it just stopped.
Didn't it?
Really?
Yeah, and they went to go back and they just couldn't get it. So.
No, well, it should have been there.
So they were either challenged by technology or...
Justin Prentice usually puts it on when he drives out. He'd be getting in and he's finishing the show. He's probably sitting in the truck going, can you finish up so I can get out? Although he's probably going, no, I'm not even going to listen.
He should probably leave it for tomorrow. He'd be able to listen to it all the way there and all the way
That's
back.
what I'm saying. He's like, he gets on the way up. He drives out of buoyant up.
He'll get both. He'll get both ways this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Both ways.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Now, have you got tips for us, Hayden? Which way are we going?
Yep. Gloucester Park.
You're going Friday night. You gave us a couple of big prices last week.
Yep.
Yep. This one Won't be a big price, but I'm hoping for a good price.
Yeah.
450, our man's marked it.
Okay.
No. That's probably fair. I was actually hoping it would go up like reasonably big because on form, I don't reckon you can have it, but I reckon she'll win.
What race?
Race 2, number 1, Jolene.
Jolene. For your stable.
The very powerful Michael Young stable, driven by Gary Hall Jr.
Leads and wins.
In the time-honoured camel time pace.
Leads and wins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gary Hall Jr., Michael Young,
Leads
Jolene.
and wins.
450. Tell you what.
And you think 450 will be about the price?
Some nice mares in the race. It's a really nice mares race.
What price is it, Michael, or is there nothing up?
450 our man, but no prices up. No prices up.
450. That's lullaby.
All right. So that's Friday night.
Yep. And
Tuesday you're going at Gloucester
I'm
Park.
getting a call. That's how long we've been in here. Race 2 on Tuesday.
It's missing persons. His mum's put in a missing person.
Hey, it's actually one of our listeners.
He should have been home an hour ago, and his mum's worried about him. Mrs. King, don't worry, he'll be home soon. Your precious commodity. He's just working overtime.
Race 2 Tuesday, number 1, Have a Go Joe. Race 3 Tuesday, number 2, You Fly With Me. They'll both be short, but I'm struggling to see them beaten. Just multi them up and we'll get something.
Okay.
Multi them up and we'll get something. I like
2-1, 2-1, 3-2.
Yep.
And Jolene tomorrow night.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Sounds good.
All right. Hayden, thanks for your time.
No worries.
Thanks for your input.
Thanks for all your time.
Yes.
Because that was
I wish I was getting paid by the minute.
No, thank you very much again. Thank you, Michael.
Indeed, Morts, thank you for your time. And thanks.
And we promise next week's show will be a lot shorter.
As always, yours. I was talking to one of our listeners, Michael Blakemore, today. Came to my office and said, I've got to tell you, don't take this the wrong way, but Morts is my favourite. A direct quote.
Geez, I tell you what, he's easily pleased.
A direct quote.
Now, Michael, I think...
And I said, you're not Robinson Crusoe there.
I think I know why. Because we looked after him on he bought a lovely Smeg oven and a lovely Smeg cooktop, so he's probably happy with his price.
He thought you were fantastic last week when you fired up.
I enjoyed the show last week.
You're number 1, Hayden's ranked number 2, I'm a poor third in everyone's.
Well, can we have a word to Michael and ask him to get the tractor driver to stop trying to run me over when I'm out there doing the interviews?
I think he aims at you.
He does. Me and the camera guy, we're on borrowed time.
Yeah. No, I think it could be Michael.
No, it's not Michael. It's some other character.
I think it's Zach. All right, good on you.
All right, very good.
Thanks, Hayden. Stay safe.
Thank you.
I will.
Stay safe. Morts, stay safe.
Yes, we'll do. Looking forward.
Good luck tomorrow night again. I say it every week, but you're usually in a big race, so
looking forward to being out there tomorrow night. There's a cracking race at 4-year-old. And
certainly
like
is.
Michael George said earlier on, you just change that. However you change that barrier draw, would just completely change the whole market. It's that close, really that close.
Yeah, it's a great race.
And we've got Madison on tomorrow night on Tricky Mickey.
Yes,
which is good. She's been in good form.
Yeah,
great form.
Wins big races.
Yeah, too good. Form's been too good.
Well, if you can't beat them,
join them. No, looking forward to having her on board and looking forward to tomorrow night. So it should be a great night.
All right, mate. Good luck. Thank you, everyone. If you've stuck on, congratulations. Well done.
You've got issues.
We really appreciate it. Until I hope you join us Friday night. I hope you're back a winner. Until next week, it's bye for now.